Did you know that 78% of men don't approach women anymore?
Where the hell are all of the men over 40? Because I'm convinced y'all are hiding from me.
I'm unmarried, never been divorced, no kids, and not for a lack of trying or because I don't want a family. Can anybody else relate to this?
Whatever happened to men going up to women? Whatever happened to it? We want that. Bring that back. Can we bring that back? Can we start a movement?
If you guys forgot, I'm 29 and single, and I'm having one of those Monday mornings where I woke up feeling like I wanted to cry. I'm just tired of being by myself. I just want to be in love, you know?
Why are more men reaching a point where they simply don't care about getting laid anymore? And what happens when male attention, intimacy, and validation are no longer guaranteed? As dating patterns continue to shift, more adults are staying single, while younger generations are developing very different attitudes towards sex, relationships, and long-term commitment. At the same time, social media has made attention and validation easier to find without genuine intimacy. So are men actually becoming less interested in sex, or are they simply becoming less willing to chase it at any cost? Today's video explores that shift and why some men believe they have far more to gain by walking away.
3 reasons why I should be your girlfriend. I will cook and clean for you all the time, every day. I'm very loyal and supportive. Very supportive and loyal. And lastly, I will give you every day.
I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't drink anything without feeling pain and pain, just true pain.
The choices made during the prime years weren't stolen. They were celebrated, encouraged, and freely embraced. The stability and companionship now desired were available back then, but often passed over for options that seemed more exciting in the moment. An empty Friday night isn't simply bad luck. It's the compound interest earned from years of repeated priorities. The men who were overlooked eventually made their own arrangements with women who never overlooked them.
Over 50 are almost twice as likely as women to marry out of the West. So these guys are they've exhausted their options in the West or in their town or in their city or even in their country, and they're expanding their dating map. So what's actually even more interesting is that guys are actually they're starting younger doing this too. So guys who are in their 20s and 30s are I'm not even going to start dating in my community. I'm going to look abroad first, which is kind of insane to me. You got to test the waters first before you even go out there.
So you're almost 40, yes. And you've never been married, no. And you don't have kids, no. And you don't want to have kids, no. What have you done with your life? Well,
genuine contentment doesn't require an audience or a camera. The performance of happiness is often the giveaway. People who are truly at peace aren't constantly producing content just to prove it. The smile feels empty because it doesn't reach the eyes.
So this is for men that live here in America. We need more men approaching women. A lot of you guys know that I'm a hairstylist. I have a lot of clients. Most of my clients are women. 97% of them are single. Beautiful women with their life together. Not just single because they don't want to. Single because they can't find men. They do try to go to grocery stores, to go to the gym, to go to the park, to church, open spaces to see if they can find a man to talk to. But what they say that men do not approach. Men do not initiate anymore. We need men to initiate more, please.
As a man, once you learn to live alone, you come to realize that most women are only good for one thing. And once you realize you can rent that one thing, you start to see that most women have little else to offer.
I believe men are supposed to chase a woman, date her, spoil her, respect and adore her, and love her more. Anything outside of that is just weird. And if you're watching this as a woman, disagreeing with it, thinking it's too much or you don't deserve this, you have been brainwashed and you do not know your own worth. And you may even have internalized misogyny, which you definitely need to work on and heal that shit.
Explaining male emotional reality to people who have already decided not to understand it is wasted energy. Let the experience deliver the lesson instead. It's far more persuasive and it costs men nothing. The departure isn't toward nothing. It's towards something demonstrably better, and that distinction matters.
Asks, I'm often curious to why a woman says, I know my worth, especially when they have nothing to offer other than looks. Some don't even have anything going for them. What is their criteria for establishing their worth? Because women with a lot of baggage seem to have this, I know my worth illusions. All right. Bitches just talk. I mean, seriously. She says she knows her worth. What she's trying to do is sell you on the fact that that used up vagina she has, that she's put countless miles on, is somehow worth premium price, hoping that she can get you to buy the fact.
So what I'm telling women is, do not, if you want a family, if you want a husband, do not allow yourself to get to a point where you hit that wall. You are 37, you are looking in the mirror, whatever age that is, and you see a different face and you see your youth going away from you and you start to panic and you can't find yourself in the mirror. Don't let that be the case while you're still on the hunt for a man, or you are going to feel inadequate, depressed, anxious, and rush in to do something toxic to your body to compensate for that. If women just listened more to what people like me are saying, and in your 20s, instead of burying in the career stuff and burying in everything else, you acknowledged the reality that what you have is going to go away. The fertility, the youthful beauty.
Treating men like disposable options during peak desirability, then expecting premium treatment from the market afterward isn't a strategy. It's a gamble that has already paid out. The reciprocity eventually arrived right on schedule. The fictional 25-year-old millionaire was never coming. The men who were actually available were dismissed. The math behind that sequence was always going to end this way.
Nowadays, you see women waiting. They're waiting. Well, I want to focus on my career. I want to focus on my degree. I want to be successful. Nothing wrong with that. But what happens is they get to 30 and they have an epiphany. They're like, oh shit, I got to hurry up. Mm-hmm. Like we had a guest on here, I won't say the name. Timeline. 35 years old, childless, no husband. You're at that, we call it hitting the wall. Yeah. And then they become negative around it and start saying men are shitty, men are douchebags. And then they get in their 40s and they end up on TikTok talking shit at 40 years old, which is pointless, right? What did you do in your 20s? And this is another thing. It's interesting on planning. Watch this, Sean. And I know you get this. You talk to men, you say plan. You counsel women, plan. I ask a woman on the show, what's your 2 to 5 year plan? I don't know. You don't know.
But yet you want a quality man.
You're 35 years old.
Biology doesn't negotiate with ideology or personal timelines. Fertility, youth, and the leverage that comes with them operate on a fixed schedule, regardless of career milestones or personal narratives. Botox and fillers arriving at 35 aren't simply self-care. They're often a panic response to a deadline that was always visible yet consistently ignored. Secure the foundation while the window is still available. Waiting until it closes, then blaming the market isn't a coherent complaint.
Woman's 35 and she ain't got kids yet, she's really panicking. So you start to say things like kids, family. You can mention that shit. Listen.
Let's talk about what Charlie Kirk said.
We've basically told a great generation of young women, don't get married, don't have kids, go get a corporate job. And it's created mass political hysteria. And then in their early 30s, they get really upset because they say, you know, the boys don't want to date me anymore because they're not at their prime. And people get mad when I say that. Well, it's just true. If you're in your early 30s, I'm sorry. It's like you're not as attractive in the dating pool as you were in the early 20s. But again, you have your corporate job and cats. So I thought, you know.
This generation of women, I would say generations of women, have been fed this idea that it is more important for you to make money and to be independent and to live on your own in your 20s and your 30s. And then you are going to find a guy who wants to marry you. You're going to settle down. You're going to be able to have kids. And you can spend the next 10 to 20 years doing it all or balancing both. And that is a lie. That has absolutely caused mass hysteria. That is a lie that has caused a lot of disappointment and devastation.
An entire generation was sold a sequencing mistake as liberation. Career first, family whenever, and the dating market would patiently hold its position. It didn't. Men in their prime moved forward, married, or simply stopped waiting. The political hysteria now spreading online is really the sound of a generation confronting the gap between what they were promised and what the timeline actually delivered.
So I have a girlfriend that called me for some advice, right? She's in a relationship, living with her man, but the man does not want to have sex, Like, he's never initiating. Even if she explains to him, you know, she wants some, it's just kind of like he not in the mood, he don't want to do it. She doesn't think he's cheating. She doesn't think he's gay. Is that normal? Like, for me, I didn't really know what to tell her because I have never been faced with such a challenge. So I don't know. So I'm asking you, and especially men, if you all could comment, any man that has been in this situation or for some reason just doesn't feel like having sex with his partner, what is he seeing with that?
I had a wonderful day at the beach today, but now it's Friday night and I'm all alone.
The beautiful reality of freedom and independence is real, and so is the silence that follows when the evening becomes empty. Both truths can exist simultaneously, and neither one cancels the other. The women who built this reality did so through their own choices and agency. The quiet Friday night isn't an injustice arriving from outside. It's the honest reflection of a long sequence of independent choices finally sitting still long enough to be felt.
So I think I speak for a lot of women. Where are the men that can breathe when you talked to us? Couldn't breathe when we were touching you. When you were suffocating when we weren't next to you. Where are those men? Because we want them. We want you to not be able to breathe when we're talking to you because you're so consumed by the thought of us that you are thinking about us and suffocating when we're not next to you. I don't know. Is it too much tax for it? I don't think so.
I have to say I feel sorry for some of you men out there in the dating world because it is 2025. I'm a 38-year-old female and these women out here even confuse me. Some women out here putting Jesus in their bio, but then you go look at their stuff and it's nothing but thirst traps, lustful, seductive content. I mean, the modern day woman calls serving your husband oppression, but yet will have no problem going out and serving a male boss and cry that that's empowerment. And real feminine energy is not sexual marketing like the modern day woman might tell you. Y'all are getting seduction and femininity like completely confused. And I've said it before, but a lot of women have this long laundry list of unrealistic criteria that they want in a man, but yet they bring nothing to the table. And we don't talk about that. We tell the women, no, you are a queen, you will be treated as such, but we're not teaching women how to be wives these days. And I would go out on a limb and say that most of the women out in the modern day dating culture do not actually have standards, they have entitlement. And accountability, a woman's kryptonite. Some of you ladies are going to die alone, still blaming men for the choices that you made.
Being in your late 20s is so hard. I've seen a few people talk about this and just kind of the loneliness of your late 20s, and especially people who are kind of in this middle stage of, hey, I'm not married, don't have kids, not in a relationship, but I'm also not going out every weekend. I spend a lot of my time by myself. I live alone. I come home from work. I go to the gym. I spend my evenings alone. And on the weekend lately, I feel like I've been so exhausted that all I want to do is like spend time by myself. And I'm struggling with questions about work. You know, am I passionate about what I'm doing? Am I good at it? Should I be traveling right now and not working, or should I be trying to work remotely so that I can travel? Like, there's just all these things that I think I would like to experience, and it's hard to know, well, when am I going to experience those things?
But independence was the stated goal, and it was achieved completely. The problem isn't that it failed, it's that it succeeded, and that success turned out to feel different than advertised when experienced beyond a certain age. The men who were passed over didn't disappear. They're with women who made different choices at a different time. That's not punishment. It's simply the market allocating what was available to the people who showed up for it. So why are some men no longer willing to chase sex and validation? If these clips point to one conclusion, it's this. Many men have decided that peace, independence, and a fulfilling life are worth more than constantly pursuing attention or intimacy. The men who once felt overlooked didn't necessarily disappear. They simply redirected their time toward people and lives that value them. That doesn't mean every woman or relationship fits this pattern. But if men increasingly stop treating sex as the ultimate reward, the dating dynamic inevitably changes. The real question is whether people will adapt to a world where male attention is no longer something they can simply assume will always be available. Thanks for watching MGTTOW Voice. Show us your love by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Support us and help spread awareness for men around the world. We welcome healthy debate and discussion, so feel free to comment and share your thoughts.